I've always been fascinated with water in video games, especially in retro games. While the water effects seen in modern games today are nothing short of incredible, to understand how we got to the current state of the art, we need to first look back to the beginnings. Today we're taking a dive into one of the most groundbreaking racing games ever made, Wave Race 64 on the Nintendo 64 console. Released back in 1996, this title was more than just a water sports game. It was a technical marvel of its time, showcasing the power of the N64's hardware in revolutionary new ways. This game is pure, feel-good Nintendo magic through and through. Everything about it just feels so right, from its vivid color palette and smooth controls, to the upbeat and cheerful synth music, and even the playful dolphins that race around the course beside you. This game just got it so right. Let's take a couple laps to explore this magical game in my Retro Gaming Boss review of Wave Race 64. So let's start with the tech. Wave Race 64 wasn't just another racing game. It was a game that pioneered real-time rendering of waves that made the courses feel alive. Instead of using pre-rendered wave patterns, the game engine was able to generate waves dynamically, creating a realistic and constantly changing ocean surface. This innovation was powered by the Nintendo 64's advanced hardware, featuring its vaunted Reality coprocessor, a specialized chipset that provided real-time calculations required for this level of rendering that was never seen before in a home console. I remember all the hype leading up to the N64 release about its powerhouse graphics processor developed by Silicon Graphics. The gaming media touted it as having the same type of rendering capabilities as the sophisticated CGI workstations from Silicon Graphics that were used to create the photorealistic dinosaurs in the popular movie Jurassic Park. Well, the graphics of the N64 weren't quite like that, but this game still raised the bar in gaming to a new high watermark, and it's not just the graphics that made Wave Race 64 stand out. The game took full advantage of the system's exotic new analog controller, which allowed for incredibly intuitive control. Its sensitivity enabled players to fine-tune their movements, applying only slightest pressure when precision was needed, and being able to really lean into it when making sharp turns. Prior to this, joypad controls were binary, meaning that the movement was either fully on or off, with nothing in between. While analog controls have been the norm for decades now, we can thank Wave Race 64 for ushering in a whole new level of interaction in gaming. And in this case, making it feel so easy to hit the sweet spot in the perfect wave right as it was cresting. For the first time, players felt like they were really in control of the action, and that made the experience feel even more realistic.
Welcome to Marine Fortress.
Equally impressive is how Wave Race 64 laid the foundation for so many games that came after it. The tech behind the waves and dynamic water simulation and the precise controls didn't just disappear after 1996. Other developers built upon what Wave Race pioneered and ran with it. Games like Jet Ski Riders on the PS2 and arcade games like Hydro Thunder owe their pedigree to the innovations that Nintendo gave us in Wave Race 64. Later games of all types and genres built upon what Wave Race 64 started by using ever more complex and sophisticated water physics and shaders. This led to a sort of arms race between consoles and developers, leading to more realistic water effects with more lighting, reflections, and fluid dynamics. But at the core, this all started by the simple yet brilliant concept of generating waves in real time rather than relying on static patterns. And the way you interacted with them using the analog controller opened the door to more natural, immersive experiences that followed in gaming. So in conclusion, Wave Race 64 wasn't only a fun jet ski racer. It was a technical marvel that shattered the boundaries of what was possible in video games. It brilliantly showcased the potential of Nintendo 64's hardware and the way we interact with water in so many games today. So whether you're a retro gaming fan or just looking to experience a piece of gaming history, Wave Race 64 is an unforgettable must-play. If you enjoyed this game back in the day, then give me a thumbs up and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. Also be sure to subscribe and support this channel so I can bring you more videos of the best retro games. Alright my friends, this is the Retro Gaming Boss signing out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.